Normally, I open the morning with a preview. There's only two games tonight, for one, and for two, there's kind of bigger news than anything the preview's going to tell you. Ilya Kovalchuk has been signed by the Montreal Canadiens for the remainder of this season. We'll see how that turns out for Montreal. I will say this, with Brendan Gallagher out for potentially a while, you can use Kovalchuk as a stopgap. Who knows? Maybe he rediscovers some scoring touch with Montreal. He may very well be motivated after the amount of time he's missed since the LA Kings said nope and got rid of him. And we'll see. We'll see how things turn out. We knew it was going to be league minimum if he signed. There were other teams rumored to be interested, like Boston. So we'll see if he can help Montreal get things in gear. Montreal has to start winning now. They don't have any wiggle room right now because Tampa and Toronto have started winning regularly. Boston's too far ahead for them to catch, so they have to start winning, or they're going to be in a position where it's just not going to happen. Adam Pelech is out for the season with an Achilles injury. The Islanders announced this morning. That sucks for Islanders fans because Pelech have been their stalwarts on that blue line, and the two of them playing together just sounds great. So they've called up Sebastian Aho from the minors. Now, the good news is Sebastian Aho, in call-ups previously, has been a pretty good defenseman. He's not going to replace Pelech. So, for the Islanders, this is a pretty big test for that blue line, and I have a feeling they'll pass it because Barry Trotz is the guy behind the bench. He coaches defense very well, and too bad for Pelech, and hopefully he has a quick recovery. Quick as you can with an Achilles injury. Achilles is a long-term thing. It's not a short-term thing at all. That's why they're saying, hey, he's out for the rest of the year. Brandstrom has been sent down by the Senators. So with Mike Riley added from Montreal, Brandstrom gets sent down. They've got to get Brandstrom time in the American League. He is clearly not ready to be a top 4 guy in the NHL. I don't think him playing in the NHL right now is helping him and helping his development. If anything, it seems to hold him back on some nights. Some nights he looks okay. Other nights he's clearly in over his head. So give him some time in the American League, build up his confidence, and bring him up next year. That's one thing that Pierre Dorian needs to make sure he's got is enough veterans to insulate, just in case some of these kids aren't ready next year as well. The assumption that they'll be ready next year is one that we've seen teams make before that it hasn't quite worked out. Columbus, for a lot of years, they were spinning their wheels because they were waiting on these young guys to come up. The Oilers have had that problem as well. The Sabres, to some extent. You don't want to be one of those teams that just goes, okay, next year all these kids will come in, it'll be fine. You've got to have the veterans to insulate. I know people get mad at Jim Benning for his signings and for the things he does and for adding too many players and all this. I have always appreciated when a general manager does just leave spots open for rookies. The rookies have to fight for those spots and earn them, and then give the general manager a difficult decision when it comes to cutting veterans. So I would expect the Senators to continue with this pattern of bringing in guys as stopgaps, and it's clearly what they are, and making sure that they have enough veterans. So if the kids aren't ready, that's okay. So Riley's another one of those guys who's coming in just in case. And for right now, to make sure Brandstrom gets that time in the American League. I neglected to mention last night. It gets lost in everything because the last night's game was so sloppy, but the Canucks have won 6 in a row. It's a weird, strange time right now in Canuck land for me. And I'm still cautiously optimistic. That's as far as I'll go with it, as I'm cautiously optimistic this team makes the playoffs. JT Miller's been great. Pettersson's definitely playing well enough. He's not going to get 100 points, but there aren't that many that do these days. And Hughes has started picking it up again. He must have watched the preview yesterday. That's the only theory I can come to. He watched the preview yesterday when I got to pick it up. Speaking of picking it up, there is the very likely instance now that the Calgary Flames are going to be players at the trade deadline. Because getting rid of Ferndale, and when you look at their lineup, the interesting thing is Brody and Hamonic are pending UFAs. Talbot is as well. Which one of those guys gets a major increase in the offseason? I would argue that it's likely that either Brody or Hamonic probably gets dealt at the deadline. But let's just say that Brad Treliving decides to hold on to everybody. I don't think these guys are going to break the bank. So the good news for Flames, the Flames going forward and for their fans, is that really, in all honesty, this is a good stable team, and there's no reason to think even the RFAs. There's no big RFA coming up. There's no Armageddon when it comes to Calgary, and I think they're in pretty good shape. So at this trade deadline, I kind of expect them to pick somebody up. I don't know if it'll be a rental or what they're going to do, but according to Cap Friendly, they're sitting at about $4.9 million in cap space, and that'll increase as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. And we'll see. Because again, I don't think Brody or Hamonic are going to get major raises over what they make. Brody right now is making $4.65 million. That's his expiring contract. Hamonic's making $3.857 million. I don't have Michael Stone on there, but he's only making $700,000, and he's not going to make a whole lot more than that. So Talbot also is there. Talbot makes $2.75 million. Well, he's not going to get a big raise on that. And Riddick has another year at $2.75 million after this year. So they're only spending $5.5 million on their goaltending right now. So yeah, we'll see what they do. But I think signs are there that they can definitely do something. They can definitely pick somebody up. And I think they might be better off doing it sooner rather than later. Vancouver's been heating up. Arizona seems to be figuring it out. Vegas is on a run. And the Oilers are still good enough that they should be in the mix. So for Calgary, you don't want to let those teams get ahead of you, and you don't want to continue to look kind of mediocre, middle of the road, while other teams are getting ahead. So we'll see what they do. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing right through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, Kovalchuk's a member of the Habs. Go get your Habs Kovalchuk jersey now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.